Hello friends, in the previous video we have clearly seen how the effect of the action has nothing to do with the action as such, but the effect depends on the thought pattern behind which the action was produced. For example, I have clearly explained to you an example at that point of time. If I am a doctor, if I am giving injection for a patient, or if I am opening their abdomen, or if I am doing a surgery, if I am cutting their bones, I am causing pain, I am causing stress to the patient, I am causing anxiety to the patient, I am causing so much of distress to the patient. But despite the action causing a bad effect to the patient, the effect which I receive is only the blessing. It is because not as such the action produces the effect, it is the thought current behind the action which produces the effect. So in the previous video we have clearly seen there is nothing called karma, because if the action has to produce the action which is considered bad has to produce an effect. For example, if I am causing pain, this should give me pava, but instead of it causing me pava, it gives me punya, because it gives me blessings, it gives me so much of prayer, they wish me that I should be well. This punya happens not because of the action but because of the thought pattern behind which it. So the effect of the action is not stored as such either as pava or punya, but the thought current behind which, because of which the action was produced, is stored, is retained within us. So this is which is important for us. So this is what I call it as meta biocognition. This is what I call it as meta biocognition. So if it is just a thought pattern which is causing the action, you can just very well name it as thought pattern, right? Why do you have to coin some other term like meta biocognition? So for that we should understand what meta biocognition actually is and what does it comprise of and how it is made. We have clearly seen how it is formed. So this karma, which I have termed it as proclavism, please check the previous video if you have not checked it, is shaped in three phases. This meta biocognition is shaped in three phases. One is like before birth, then from birth till now, and it will be shaped from till now to afterwards based on the previous memory which it has. So it is shaped in three phases: from before birth and after birth and from now on towards the future. So split this word meta biocognition. It has three terms: meta, bio and cognition. So let's understand in simple terms how each and everything is formed. If I am learning typewriting, so initially I have to consciously learn typewriting, but later on, without even seeing the keyboard, I can type very fast in the most appropriate way. In the similar way, if I am learning driving, initially I have to put my thought on how my body should act, but later it becomes a part of your memory, it becomes a part of your own self. So this goes on for swimming, dancing, whatever the art form, whatever the thing you have, like it goes on very naturally. It becomes a part of your muscle memory that you need not even put your mind, you need not even put your attention into it. So this kind of memory which is formed is called as the biomemory. This is not the only thing. The main biomemory is the memory which is in the genes. By the term biomemory, I mean any memory, any kind of imprint that is present, that impacts this meta biocognition through the presence of this physical body. So if this physical body is for example, if I don't have both the limbs, so it will affect my cognition in a certain way. If I don't have eyes, it will affect my cognition in certain ways because of the physical ability. In the similar way, everything happens because of the physical ability. So this physical ability, this kind of memory which is there in the physical body, is called as meta biocognition. This meta biocognition is what I call it as the genetic code of human life. This is what I call it as a genetic code of human life. So what do I even mean by the term genetic code of human life? So if I have this body which is weighing 70 kgs, which is currently 27 years old, this genes, very minute amount of genes which is present in this body, decides how much it has the memory of how much fingers my hand should contain, how tall should I go, what color should I be, how much weight should I be there. So if I feed certain kind of foods, how it should react. If I feed another kind of foods, how it should react, and how tall it should be, how lengthy it should be, how much eyes I should have, how long I should live, and how long everything should function, and if some changes about how it should react. All those things are already predetermined for a very long time for the entire body by a very very small component. In the similar way, this meta biocognition decides your fate, decides your life, decides your body. It determines everything, because all the actions essentially arises because of this meta biocognition. This is what which is affecting your action. So this is what decides your entire life. So that's what I mean by genetic code of human life. So the next word is cognition. So certain mental patterns are there. In the previous video I have explained the example of a 2-year-old child. Even as an adult, if you see, when we are going in the road, when someone comes in a wrong way, even before realizing the situation, spontaneously we scold them, we scold them, we abuse them, we use a bad word towards them. But after the instant moment, that entire emotion vanishes off in no time. This is a spontaneous action which has happened very unconsciously because of our nature, which we have not consciously built. So in the similar way, even with our parents, even with our wife, even with our close friends, when very very small action can produce a very different kind of emotion, which is not necessary, which is not consciously produced, which is not that is not the thing which we want consciously. In the similar way, this mental memory, either it is consciously built or it unconsciously built, it has the capacity to impact whatever the actions we do and the effects which are produced. So the next thing which comes is the meta. So by the term I mean whatever the thing that is yet to be known to us, what are the things that is known to us and yet to be known to us apart from the physical and the mind component, is what I call by the term meta. For example, if you are going to a temple, whether you are speaking with any person or not, or whether any physical communication or physical impact is made or not, irrespective of whatever the thing that is happening, you are experiencing a positive energy, you are experiencing a change in the mindset. Even when nothing happens, you just go to the temple and return as such to the home, you are not the same person as you were previously. Although now no mental or physical perturbations has happened, the energy has an impact. In the similar way, even when you are working in an office, if your boss passes, even he might not see you, he might be passing in the corridor, but just by the sight of him, there might be so much of tension or so much of emotions which is flowing over you. Although he is least bothered about you, there is so much of things that is happening inside you, not just because of his presence, not even he is saying any physical communication, or not even he is saying anything, just his presence makes so much of change, fluctuations inside your mental capacity. In the similar way, even if you saw a person who is of huge impact, like either it is an enlightened person, or whether your favorite star, or whether it is a place where there is a riot going on, or where the place is like so tense, even if you're just by your presence in the place, your entire mood gets changed, you just become tense just because being present in the place, although the people around you are not impacting you. So this is one simple example. The another example which I would like to tell you is, if you are in India, your metabiocognition behaves in certain way. If I am in Delhi, it influences my metabiocognition beyond the physical and cognitive abilities which I can perceive. In the similar way, each and every place, the collective consciousness, the people around them, their collective consciousness, their thought memory impacts us. So in the similar way, many other things like the change in the position of the planet's energy come and impact us at various point of time. Even it impacts, like that's why you feel the waves rising in the new moon day and the full moon day, and so many things. So all these energies keeps on impacting us, which I call it as the meta memory. So all these things comprises of the metabiocognition. That's why a separate term. So I am coining this term specifically because whenever I say a thought pattern, the scientists start associating it just with the neural networks. It's nothing to do with it's not only about the neural networks. Although it has a neural network, it is not just about the neural networks. It has so many components beyond which it impacts our life. Not only the neural network, it has multiple other components which is known and unknown to us. They keep on impacting us. So this is one thing. So apart from that, if I have a 1 TB hard disk, and if I am that hard disk was initially empty, now I have transferred a data of about 1 terabyte. Before the transfer of data, if the hard disk weighs about 200 gram, even after the transfer of the data, the hard disk will still remain the same weight. In the same way, although it contains lakhs of pages of documents or so many hours worth of videos or so many photos of like whatever it may be, it still doesn't impact the weight. In the similar way, although this metabiocognition being the genetic code of life, impacting your fate, impacting your body, impacting your life, despite this, this is just a memory. This doesn't have any space. This doesn't occupy any space in your body. Doesn't has any mass. It doesn't. We cannot significantly pinpoint at which point it is there. I can't just significantly say this is present in the brain. So this is an abstract concept. This is the thing which is there. So first thing. So the next thing is like already the previous example which I have given. Take any party like BJP, Congress, or whatever it is. So few people perceive them it is bad and few people perceive them it is good. We cannot say, although the action remaining the same, the perception differs. So what makes this perception actually differing? So there is a perception which is differing. So why does this perception differ? Initially, for something to be perceived, there needs to be an object, or there needs to be an event or a situation which should have happened. So this is the first thing. Then it should be perceived. How it is perceived? For example, if there is a camera in front of me, I have eyes through which I am perceiving it. Okay, so apart from that, if I am saying it is rough or whatever it is, like I feel it through the organ of perception. If I am perceiving it through the mind, that mind is there. So for everyone, this almost remains the same, unless I am blind or unless I am mentally retarded. This object of this tool for the perception remains the same. So finally, the object remains the same, the action remains the same, the tool remains the same, but the perfection differs. So there is something which is in between. There is something which is processing the data which has been received. This processor is what I call it as the metabiocognition. This processor is what I call it as the metabiocognition. This metabiocognition is influencing our perception, which means the thought, this memory which you have already gathered, it is influencing you at each and every moment of time. For example, if you are watching this video, this is influencing your metabiocognition either in a positive way or negative way, whatever it is. So few people find it right, few people find it wrong, although the information remains same. This is because of the influence of this metabiocognition. The beauty of this metabiocognition is it keeps on modulating itself every second, and it can be modulated, it can be remodulated in the way which we want. That's what I have written in the book, Metabiocognitive Remodulation in the Light of Yoga Sutra for a Life of Higher Possibility. I have detailedly elaborated about all these things in that book. That book is available as a Kindle version. Now the link of it which I will share, you can pre-order it. The publishing, it will be published on September 7th on the day of Vinayak Chaturthi. So let that be aside. In the upcoming videos, based on this concept, we will see whether there is any rebirth or whether there is any previous birth, because already I have told this metabiocognition is impacted by something called those factors, those kind of memories which are there even before our birth. That is what I call it as the innate proclivism. I have told. So definitely watch the previous video. So how is this innate proclivism is even coming from? Is there is a pre-birth? Is there is a rebirth? All those things we will see in the upcoming videos. I hope this video was useful for you. If it is useful for you, definitely give a thumbs up, because it will motivate me and also it will give me a feedback how my video is, like how can I improve myself. One thing, and if you would like to hear the same kind of contents, whatever the things I have given, if you would like to hear it, please definitely subscribe to the channel. Apart from that, I will see you in one another useful video like this. Until that, it's Aravind signing off. Thank you. Prosper in eternal truth.